Welcome back to Ping Pong Flakes. My name is Chris Wall. Twitter has been crazy today in the DC fandom. As you all know, if you're following, there had this whole thing about the Justice League runtime being too short. You punch in, you Google it. I mean, if you're not on Twitter, Google it, Justice League runtime. They've got all these news articles where after Joss Whedon reshoots, Justice League runtime is shorter, reportedly shortest in DCEU. Short runtime is a good thing. Shortest DCEU movie, you know, it's all over the place. And this is the runtime that they're saying. Now, this one fan had reportedly got all these different informations from different theaters, and different theater managers are reporting that Warner Brothers has told them that the runtime for Justice League is 120 plus minutes. About 121, 120, something like that. And some people are saying that's just a placeholder for the actual runtime when we get closer to when the tickets go on sale, probably around the 26th. There are some sites that are already putting the box office to reserve the box office tickets. The ticket showtimes are already on there, and it is being reported 120 minutes is the most accurate runtime to date. Now, I mentioned that we had a fan in China who says her sources in China are still saying it's 170 minutes. Another place is still 150 minutes. So we really don't know for sure. But that's not what I'm here to talk. I'm not here to talk about who's right or who's wrong, who's jumping the gun or not. I'm just going to talk about all this hatred, all this anger towards a movie that is going to be 2 hours long. It's not going to be 90 minutes long. They're complaining that it's only 2 hours long. Now, I have a dream and hopes and dreams that, yeah, Justice League is going to be 3 hours, 4 hours. I'd sit there and watch a 4-hour movie. I'd probably have to go to the bathroom first alone and probably never leave my seat after that. But I would watch that. But realistically, yeah, the studio is not going to do more than maybe 3 hours, okay? Because they want to make more ticket sales, the more showtimes in the theater, that we all know about that, and that's why a lot of these movies have a shorter runtime. But I want to just talk about how people are saying maybe 2 hours is not enough time to introduce 3 new superheroes, to introduce them into this world, and it's not enough time. We need to know more about them, blah blah blah. I get you. I understand your feelings about that. But 2 hours in a movie, that is a long time. And if you don't believe me, just look at some of the movies that came out already. Okay, we've got Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars. We know nothing about Luke Skywalker. We know nothing about Han Solo. We know nothing about Obi-Wan, Chewbacca. How many characters had I just said? R2-D2, C-3PO. We know nothing about them. Princess Leia. Lots of characters, lots of primary main characters within one movie. That movie came out in 1977, 2 hours and 5 minutes. Want to go for another team type movie? Star Trek, the 2009 Star Trek action adventure. Yeah, we kind of know about them because of the previous Star Trek, just like how we know about Justice League. For us fandom, DC fandom, we know who Batman is, we know who Wonder Woman is, Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman. We've seen the animated cartoons, we've read the comics, we know who they are. Just like this Star Trek, we know about the past, or we know who Bones is, we know who Spock is, we know all these people. And so I want to argue that for Star Trek in 2009, that was a great movie, and we were pretty comfortable towards the end of the movie knowing who these characters were. 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's not too far. You can't really argue that's 7 more minutes than Justice League. Come on now. But if you want to get into that debate about superheroes, okay, you want to say, well, those weren't comic book movies. You know, that's sci-fi. That's different. Star Trek, Star Wars, totally different. All right, okay, let's look into the competition. Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy. We know almost nobody knew who these guys were. Like zero. If you were a hardcore Marvel fan, yeah, you'd know who these people were. I didn't know any of these characters. I'm pretty fresh in Marvel. A lot of my Marvel friends don't even know too much about these characters. And it was a good movie. A lot of people had a lot of praise, had enough time to have all that exposition of Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon. How many is there? There's like about 5-6 characters in there of main teams. 5-6 characters. Star-Lord, yes, he's the captain of it, but he has this whole team that they have to introduce to us and get to know of. And by the end of the film, you kind of had that feeling of knowing about them already. How long was that movie? 2 hours and 2 minutes. Okay, so I don't understand this anger towards that. Oh my God, Justice League, that's junk now because it's only 2 hours. What are you talking about? There's really only 3 people that are being introduced in that. We already know Wonder Woman. We already know Batman. Both of these characters, this is their 3rd film altogether. Batman is his 3rd film after Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, now Justice League. This is the 3rd Wonder Woman film if you really want to look at that. Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, and now Justice League. Yes, we're being introduced to Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman. I understand that. But that's only 3 characters. That could be done in the first 30 minutes. It's a 2-hour movie. 120. Divide that by 4. 30 minutes. Introduce them. We're going through the eyes. We're going through the point of view of Batman and Wonder Woman. Okay? If you want to look at, if they're like the Luke and Han, and we're going with them where they're building the team, you know, we're going through the eyes of the leaders here. And as much as they know these new characters, that's how much we're going to know these new characters. Okay, so I wouldn't be angered by this. I wouldn't be even worried about this. I'd be worried if they said it was only 75 minutes, but 2 hours, that's pretty good. And like a lot of people said, makes more showtimes in the theaters, more money for the box office. Great. As long as they can make it a seamless story, not choppy, and make that 2-hour work, I am fine with 2 hours. That's plenty of time to get to know 3 more characters. Not 5 more characters, not 6 more main characters. I'm talking about main characters here now, so don't be pulling me to Steppenwolf and all these other guys. Okay, we know Batman, we know Wonder Woman, we know Superman, we know Lois Lane, we know all these people already. We just have to get to know 3 more characters within this universe. And if you are a DC fan, you already know these characters. You already know these characters, all right? So don't freak out. That's all I just want to say. It just boggles my mind how people are reacting to this. So it's beyond our control is what I'm saying. 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. 2 hours is a fine number. Justice League will be fine. Alright. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.